What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. Today's story time is a little bit of a bizarre one. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is a subscriber story with a ginormous grain of salt, obviously, as you can tell from the story. This is the person's alien abduction story. I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna comment on it. All I know is it's the first one I've ever had in my DMs about somebody getting abducted by aliens, and I figured we should give it a read. So yeah, that's what the story time's gonna be today. Be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, you're gonna get kidnapped by aliens. And without further ado, let's get into it.
And I got eyes like an eagle, stacking so much money you would think that it's illegal. I'm getting quiet now, laying low when you reach zone, wiping out, making out, stack the bread, cause you love the sound, just
Alright, so this person actually lives in a farm in rural Utah. And for those of you that don't know, Utah actually is one of the most active places for UFOs. I don't know why. I've seen one personally while driving from Utah to Las Vegas. I've told the story here on the channel, you know. And overall, something about the place at night, like, you just constantly feel like you're being watched a little bit. I don't know if I sound crazy, but I've talked to other people who have been in, like, the area that they're talking about, and they seem to kind of know what I'm talking about. So when this person said they were from there, it maybe did give a little bit more credibility to their story. Not that alien abduction stories are the most credible thing in the universe, alright? I promise I'm not a crackhead. Regardless, this person lives on a farm in Utah, and they take care of some cattle up there. And obviously, when you're taking care of cattle, sometimes you gotta go out in the night and check on them whenever you hear some noises or some just bizarre things coming from the cattle. It's your job as a cattle rancher to make sure they're not, like, being stolen or whatever, because I guess that's actually a thing, bro. Like, people will steal cows. I don't know how you would steal a cow. That seems crazy to me, but whatever. And one night, this guy got woken up by his dad, and he said, hey, you gotta go check on the cows. I'm hearing some noises out there. And so, obviously, he, like, reluctantly kind of got up and went to go do it. Being woken up in the middle of the night is not fun. I'm sure it's especially not fun to be told that, like, you got to go get your boots on and go take care of a bunch of cows. And he goes outside and he's walking towards the barn, and he wasn't the one who heard any of the noises. His dad was. But when he goes outside, he notices that everything is eerily silent, like weirdly silent. If you've ever been out in the countryside at night, you know that usually there's like plenty of sounds, you know, crickets, animals, just general, like, the buzz of nature, but it's dead silent to the point where you're kind of noticing how quiet it is, which is especially bizarre, especially for a cattle ranch. So he's kind of like, huh, that's weird, maybe whatever happened calmed down. So he starts going over to the barn, and when he gets near the barn, he notices that the door is kind of ajar, like half open. And obviously, whenever you're in a situation where there was a bunch of noises, you know, there's potential for criminals to be hiding in there, you go in a little bit apprehensively. So he's, like, kind of rounding the corner super carefully, trying his best not to scare anyone who might be in there, because he doesn't want to get shot trying to defend these cattle, right? And he looks in there, and all the cows are, like, against the far wall of the barn, and they're all just kind of looking at him. And, you know, them being grouped up wasn't weird, but the fact that they were all awake and standing against the far side of the barn was weird. You know, it's the middle of the night, you would expect some of them to be sleeping. The fact that they were all over there made it seem like there was something to be scared of. So he starts counting the cows, and he realizes that there's one missing. So he's like, great, one of the cows got out, you know, I gotta go find it or whatever. I don't know how many cows they had, bro. I don't know how big the barn is. He didn't send me pictures or anything. I'm just telling you guys what he said. So he starts going around the property looking for one of these cows on one of the little razors, like the all-terrain vehicles. And he's going around in the razor, and he goes down to the creek, which is where some of them went sometimes whenever they would, like, escape or wander during the day. So he goes down there, and he's kind of by the stream, and he feels like he's being watched. And whenever you're in nature, you know, you can kind of feel the vibe of what's watching you. I know that sounds crazy, but if you've ever been out in nature, you know what I'm saying. Like, when you're being followed by something like a coyote or a mountain lion, like, it's just a different type of following you. It's not like a bunny rabbit just kind of stringing along, you know? And he feels like there's something watching him that's a predator. Like, he feels this fight or flight response. And as soon as he feels the fight or flight response, he feels his body kind of freeze up, right? Like, he can't move, and he's just kind of sitting there, stuck. And as soon as he's stuck, he sees these two things come out of the creek in front of him. And he says that the creek isn't really deep enough for people to hide in. Like, maybe at its deepest, it's, you know, a foot. And sure enough, these, like, 3 feet tall beings come out of this creek, and they start walking towards him. And he says for some reason in his mind, his body frozen, he wasn't scared. There was, like, an overwhelming feeling of calm that kind of came over him when they got to him. And they didn't talk, but he kind of could, like, understand what they were thinking to him. And they said that he was gonna be okay, but, like, they were gonna borrow him for the night to just run some experimenting, you know, and they probably weren't even gonna let him remember it. And then the next thing he remembers, and the last thing he remembers, is his body starting to feel weightless. He said the only other time he's kind of felt that way is like when he's jumping on a trampoline and he does the thing where, like, he goes to his butt and kind of falls back, like with a bunch of air underneath him, almost like it went weightless, and he felt his legs kind of go up and forward, kind of up into the sky a little bit, and he started feeling himself getting lifted up. And that is all he remembers from the abduction itself. Anything after that is a blur, but surprisingly, what happens after is a little bit crazier. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is an Xbox gift card. I actually give away a gift card in every video here on this channel as a way to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed and turned on notifications. So if you haven't already, you might as well press those 2 buttons. It's literally free, and I give away money, so you got nothing to lose. And yeah, if you already are someone subscribed with notifications on, then thank you very, very much. It is much appreciated. And without further ado, I'll shut up and let you guys get back to the story time. Enjoy. So after getting lifted up in the air, he doesn't remember much. The next thing he remembers is waking up back by the creek, right? And he doesn't know how much time has passed exactly at this point. He knows he disappeared some point, like after 2, but he does see that the sun is coming up. So he goes back and checks on the barn. Sure enough, the door's still open, and he's kind of looking around for anything that would make sense. And he does the count. There's still 1 cow missing that he doesn't really know where it is. He goes back to the water, and he's looking in the creek, like he's kind of just stomping through it absentmindedly, like, what the hell is going on? And his dad comes over, and he's like, son, what are you doing? Why are you in the creek? And he looks at his dad, and he goes, Dad, what time is it? And he's like, 7. Where have you been? I've been looking for you. Because I guess him and his dad would get up at like 6 and do some stuff together, and he wasn't in his bed. He's like, been down by the creek. I had a weird dream. And his dad gives him a weird look. He's like, no, you weren't by the creek. I've been looking all over the property. Like, where were you? And at that point, this kid is like, what the hell is going on? He had thought this entire thing was a dream, but if his dad had really been down here looking for him and he hadn't been here, then like, where had he been? You know what I mean? Because it was morning now. It'd been 5 hours since he had vanished, and sure enough, there's nothing there. So his eyes get wide, and he's like, Dad, we need to go back to the house. And he sits his dad down, and he's kind of recounting the story, and he's like, yeah, well, one of the cows is still missing, you know. To this day, they've never found it, which is crazy to me, bro, that like a whole cow can just go missing. He did say it's possible that, like, you know, sometimes whatever, there's a flash flood and they'll like be in the creek, or sometimes they go missing. But it is bizarre that, you know, apparently these alien things came out of the creek and took them the same time a cow went missing. Coincidence? I think not. But what's even wilder is when he's telling his dad about it, he's obviously expecting his dad to, like, you know, okay, son, that's great. Yeah, hello, I would like to place my son in immediate mental health facility. He thinks he's been abducted by aliens. Like, he's thinking his dad's gonna think he's crazy. But his dad kind of gets this look on his face, and he's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of weird stuff since we've been here, you know, a lot of weird flying things. I've never been abducted, but, you know, cattle going missing with no explanation. And I guess his dad had also found before, like, cows with their skin cut, like skinned cows with the meat left, which is a really weird thing to do, you know. Usually if you're gonna take a cow, you'll just leave the bones behind, you know what I mean? But like, just a skinned cow laying there. Sometimes it would be the opposite, where all the meat would be gone and all that would be left is the bones and the skin, which once again, like, it's weird to skin an entire cow without getting blood everywhere. Like, it's just a bunch of weird coincidences. So his dad was kind of like, look, I don't know what happened to you. I wouldn't go around telling a bunch of people, obviously, like at school, or what people that know him in real life, obviously, because people are gonna think you're nuts if you say you got abducted by aliens. But his dad was kind of like, I'm not saying you're the craziest person I've ever met, all right? Because I guess a bunch of farmers in the area, tons of them have alien abduction stories and like stories about aliens and whatnot. So yeah, apparently somebody that watches my videos has been abducted by aliens, which technically means I've had a fan leave the Earth's orbit. High five to myself. Real talk though, guys, I hope this dude's okay. Obviously, I don't know how true this story is, but I thought it was entertaining, so I figured I'd share it with y'all. But I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a quick second to press the like button and comment down below. Go ahead and comment the word aliens down there if you wouldn't mind. I would help out the channel a lot. If y'all want more content kind of similar to this, I do have a podcast called the SKUFFED. Y'all should check it out. A link will be down below in the description, along with the link to the intro song if you want to give it a listen. The Spotify link's down there. And yeah, the last link we got to talk about in the description is, of course, the merch link. If you want to get yourself some of the coolest merch to ever exist, well, I can't say that I blame you, although I can say that I'm biased. Absolutely no pressure, but if you want to support the channel, go for it. And yeah, other than that, if you guys have any crazy stories that you've ever been through and whatnot, you can send them to me on Instagram at Scrubby. My Twitter is at Scrubby_69, even though I'm probably more likely to see it on Instagram. You should follow me on both. And yeah, on that note, guys, I'm gonna try to get abducted by aliens so I can have a crazy story this cool. I'll see you guys all next time with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see y'all next time. I'm out. Peace. Also, let me know in the comments section if you think this is real or not, because I don't know, bro. I don't know. I just work here, bro.